Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into the Shore Acres real estate market right here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Specifically, we're zoning in on the 33703 zip code. We've gone through the latest data, the nuances, and we're presenting this on behalf of the Glover Group at REMAX Metro. They're the waterfront specialists here in St. Pete, and our job, like always, is to take all this information and just boil it down into something clear and useful for you. We're kind of like your expert guides through all this data. And understanding what's happening in the market, well, it's just crucial, isn't it? Whether you're thinking of buying or maybe selling, or maybe you're just curious about property values nearby, we want to give you the clearest picture possible, turn those numbers into insights you can actually run with. So let's jump right in. What's the big picture for the 33703 market right now? What kind of market are we actually looking at? Buyers, sellers? Something in between.
Yeah, it's really interesting right now. The 33703 market is what we'd call balanced.
Balanced. Okay.
Exactly. We're
Okay.
looking at about 6.1 months of inventory available.
And just to clarify, months of inventory, that tells us how long it would take to sell everything currently listed, right? If nothing new came on.
Precisely. And when that number falls between, say, 4 and 6.9 months, like our 6.11, it signals that supply and demand are, well, pretty much in sync.
So no huge advantage for one side or the other.
Right. Neither side is really scrambling. It opens the door for more genuine negotiation, which is a shift. It feels different from that kind of frantic pace we saw maybe a couple of years back. It's more thoughtful now.
Yeah. It's a
Strategic.
balanced market.
Yeah.
Interesting. But does it really feel balanced everywhere, especially, thinking about those really desirable waterfront spots? Or is demand still just intense in certain pockets?
That's a really good point, because the overall number suggests balance, but the nuance is definitely in where the inventory is. We've seen a slight short-term bump, maybe 7% increase in homes available recently. But the bigger picture, looking back over the last 12 months, inventory is up about 17%.
Wow, 17%. That's quite a jump over a year.
It is. And it suggests this isn't just, a seasonal thing. It's a real trend. For buyers, it means competition is easing up a bit. You've got more choices. For sellers, look, it's not a cause for alarm, but it really underscores why smart pricing and making sure your property, especially a unique waterfront one, truly stands out, or that's so critical now.
Right. You need to catch the buyer's eye with more options out there.
Exactly. And it might also mean some folks who felt kind of rate locked are maybe starting to think about listing now.
That makes sense. Okay, so inventory is up, especially over the long haul. How's that playing out with pricing? Are sellers still getting their asking price, or is there wiggle room?
Yeah, so this is a key number. Homes in 33703 are selling for, on average, about 95% of their asking price.
95%.
We call that the sale to list price ratio, and it's a really useful indicator. It tells us sellers are getting close, definitely, but there's consistently about a 5% gap, generally speaking.
And 5%. On a typical home price there, that can add up, right? Oh, absolutely. Think about a, say, $400,000 listing. That 5% is $20,000. So for buyers, yes, there's likely an opportunity for a modest discount, some negotiation room. And for sellers, it means being prepared for offers maybe slightly below list, being a bit flexible rather than holding out rigidly for that absolute full price.
Got it. So there's negotiation happening. What about the pace? How quickly are homes actually selling once they hit the market?
The median days on market right now is 38.
38 days. Median, not average, right? So that filters out the extremes.
Exactly. We focus on the median because it gives a truer sense of the typical experience. It avoids skewing the picture with houses that sell in like 2 hours, or ones that sit for 6 months because they're overpriced or need major work.
Makes sense.
So 38 days. That's what most people can probably expect. It's a steady pace, not lightning fast like it was, but certainly not slow either.
So enough time for buyers to think things through a bit. Yeah, buyers have some breathing room to consider their options, do their due diligence. But, for the really desirable properties, especially well-maintained ones in good spots, you still need to make timely decisions. Can't wait around forever.
Right, the good ones still move. Okay, steady pace, some negotiation.
Yeah.
What about the actual price point? What's the benchmark value we're seeing with the median sold price in 33703, including Shore Acres?
The median sold price currently sits at $361,984.
Okay, about $362K.
Yeah, just about. And that number is really your key reference point. If you're selling, it helps you price competitively, especially now with inventory ticking up. You don't want to overshoot. If you're buying, it's that benchmark for affordability, for assessing value when you're crafting an offer. And when you look at all these pieces together, the balanced market, the rising inventory, that 95% sale to list, the 38 days on market, it paints a picture, right?
Yeah, it does.
It shows a healthy, pretty dynamic market where honestly, both buyers and sellers have opportunities if they're informed and strategic.
That's a really clear breakdown of the numbers. But, the Glover Group folks are waterfront specialists,
Hmm.
and that brings in a whole other layer, especially in St. Pete. Beyond these standard metrics, how are things like, well, hurricanes, insurance costs, flood zones? How's all that impacting values and what buyers are thinking, especially in a place like Shore Acres? That seems like a huge factor now.
Oh, absolutely. You've hit on something critical there that the basic numbers don't always capture fully. Look, the demand for living on or near the water, it's still incredibly strong. People love the coastal lifestyle.
Of course.
But the reality is that things like rising insurance premiums, the updated FEMA flood maps, new building codes related to elevation, these are playing a much bigger role in how buyers evaluate properties now, especially in those prime waterfront or near waterfront zones.
So buyers are savvier about it.
Definitely.
Huh.
We're seeing buyers ask much more pointed questions about flood mitigation measures already in place, about the home's structural integrity, potential future insurance costs. They're thinking longer term.
And that's where specialized knowledge comes in, I guess.
Exactly. And this is really where the Glover Group's background, their deep roots in construction and design, gives their clients a real advantage. They don't just see the surface level. They understand the foundation, the potential impact of the flood zone designation, what upgrades actually add resilience and value versus just looking nice.
That seems invaluable.
It really is. For sellers, it's about understanding how hurricane season impacts your sale, thinking about inspection periods, maybe highlighting specific upgrades you've made, like impact windows or roof strapping, that actually boost value in these areas. And for buyers, it's about helping them identify properties that are genuinely resilient, knowing the right questions to ask about insurance, about elevation certificates. It's about empowering them to make a sound investment, not just find a pretty house. It goes way beyond just the list price.
Yeah, those hidden factors, the insurance, the resilience. They can really make or break a deal, can't they? Okay, so let's pull it all together then. We've got this balanced market, inventory creeping up, this 95% sale to list, 38 days on market, the 362K median, plus this huge overlay of storm and insurance considerations. What's the actionable takeaway? What does this all mean for someone looking to buy or sell in St. Pete's 336-703 right now?
Okay, let's break it down. For buyers, the increasing inventory, that's good news for you. It means more choices. Use that. That 95% sale to list ratio tells you there's likely room to negotiate, so make competitive offers. Don't necessarily start at full ask. The 38 median days on market gives you some time for thoughtful decisions, but remember what we said for the best properties. Act promptly. Use that $361,984 median price as your guide for value, but critically, layer in your assessment of storm readiness, insurance costs, flood risks. That's part of the true cost and value now.
Right. Factor in the resilience piece. And for sellers.
For sellers, that rising inventory means your pricing needs to be sharp, and your property needs to look its absolute best to stand out. Presentation matters more now. Be mentally prepared for offers maybe coming in around that 95% mark. Show some flexibility. Expect a steady sales pace, probably around that 38-day median, assuming you're priced right. And really leverage expertise, like from the Glover Group, to actively highlight any resilience features your home has, impact windows, newer roof, elevation, any flood mitigation. That's a selling point. Pricing competitively near that $361,984 median is key, but so is demonstrating your home is built to last in this coastal environment.
That's great advice. It really underscores how understanding these specific dynamics for 33703, including those crucial storm factors, is just so important for navigating a successful deal here.
Couldn't agree more. And look, while these stats and insights give you a great overview, nothing beats personalized guidance. Real estate is still very local, very personal. Clay Glover, PA, and the whole team at the Glover Group at REMAX Metro, they're the trusted advisors for this. They bring that expert insight, leveraging their deep knowledge of St. Pete, plus that unique construction and design background. They really focus on offering guidance tailored to your specific situation, your needs. It's a very client-first approach, which is what you need in a market like this.
Absolutely. So the message is clear. If you're thinking about making a move, buying or selling, or even if you're just curious about what all this means for your own property's value, especially if it's near the water, reach out to the Glover Group. Tell them about your real estate vision today. And as we wrap up, here's something to mull over. With inventory continuing these slight upward shifts, and with everyone becoming more aware of storm risks and insurance costs, How might that change the negotiation landscape in a balanced market like 33703 over the next few months? And maybe more importantly, what could that mean for your own real estate goals?